What's up, y'all? It's been a minute. How's everybody? How y'all doing? Are y'all happy that our show is back? Because I know I am. It's been a long few weeks, but we're back, and this episode was bomb. I loved it. So if you're watching, if you're new, this is another episode recap of Abbott Elementary. So let's get into the video. So you guys, this episode is episode 10 and it's titled Open House. Now, the first half or the opener, you see Janine and Jacob in the gym, and they're playing double dutch with the kids. So then it fast forwards to the break room where everybody is talking about open house that will be happening later on that evening at the school, which you all know. Open house is just a time where the parents of the students get to come, superintendents and all of that. They come and they walk around the school, they meet the teachers. Some of them have like little side meetings with them, like little conferences. They see, the artwork, they see the work that their kids are doing in class, and where this place is that their child always talks about. They meet other parents, they meet other teachers that they may not be familiar with. It's just a big old event that happens, and everybody is excited. Well, especially Janine, of course, because she has a student that's been struggling, and she's excited to meet this student's mom, and the student's name is Nina, which I was like, oh, that's my aunt's name, recipes. And so all the other teachers are like, this ain't no big deal. I think it was Barbara who said that the people in the community, they be at work or they don't show up. So it's basically like a night of just kicking back and relaxing for everybody else. But Janina's like, no, this parent said that she's coming, so I'm going to be there. I'm excited. I can't wait to get, to know her and talk to her, let her know that I care. And Greg is kind of wondering also why everybody is so like relaxed about the whole situation. And then in comes Ava, and she's talking about how she's going to be the DJ for the open house and how she, whatever. And he's just looking at her like, here she go. And then he makes a comment to her about like, the superintendent is coming. Don't you think you should be a principal? And she was like, psh, principal, man, I got the superintendent wrapped around my finger. I've been blackmailing him for months or years basically, and I got him wrapped around my finger. So he's just like, so that's how you got your principal job? And then it cuts to his confessional where you can see he's agitated because he's like, I done studied, I done this, I done that. I applied for this job, and you mean to tell me she got this job off the back of her catching him doing something? No. And he was just done for the entire episode. So then Janine wants to go get some advice or talk to Barbara about, how to handle the meeting with this student's mom, what to say, how to approach her, and all of those things. Well, in comes a young lady, very pretty, by the way, who we learn is Barbara's daughter, Taylor. She's visiting Philadelphia for work, and she lives in New York. And of course, before Taylor walks in, they had a confessional with Janine, basically saying, how she loves Barbara, that's why she always wants to come to her for advice and things like that, because she feels like they have a close relationship and is growing, and she's basically like her work mom. And so then we cut to when she meets Taylor while she's in there having the discussion with Barbara, and she's super excited, like, oh, this is my opportunity to know, you're kind of like my sister. This is your real mom, but this is my work mom, and we should hang out, and da 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 da. And she's just so like high energy, and they're kind of like, okay, like, yes, but we want to talk to each other, we want to say our highs and hugs and give love and all that, but Janine is, like I said, she's still in her Janine mode, like overly excited and just ecstatic, and it's a new person, so I want to make a good impression and all the other stuff. And she even tells Taylor, which is Barbara's daughter's name, that your mom is, like I said, my work mom, so I love her. She's this and she's that, just basically like just making a big to-do about Barbara, and her daughter, her biological daughter, was kind of feeling like, who are you? This is kind of awkward. And you could kind of tell, like, maybe they may not have, or maybe it was just me. I was picking up on that they may not have as close of a relationship. So she's probably looking at Janine like, why you think so highly of my mama when I know my mama real, for real, for real. You know, y'all know the type. So then we get to the open house, and we see Ava with her Adidas outfit on, walking around looking like Run DMC, and she's in her office and she's DJing the open house. Y'all know that's my girl. She's hilarious. She's DJing the open house, and y'all, she decides to play My Pony by Genuine. So you hear it all through the speakers, and in walks the superintendent, and to my surprise, it was who I call William, who played on the show Girlfriends back in the day. I don't know his real name. I'll try to find it and put it on the screen. But he played the superintendent, and you know, he comes in like, hi Janine, or I'm sorry, hi Ava, and she's like, hi whatever his name was, and they kind of exchange this like, I don't really like you, but I gotta talk to you type of conversation. So then we go to where, what happens next? We go to the classroom again, and in walks Janine, and in walks Taylor, and in walks Barbara. They are having these conversations, and they start to bicker back and forth. Taylor and Barbara bicker back and forth, and we learn that Barbara does not like her daughter Taylor's career, and we find out that she's a representative for some alcoholic company. And she kind of, you know how some people do, they kind of say like, it's not a real job, you know, you got too many gifts, you got too many talents, you spend all this time in college to get this education, and this is what you do, like, you know, like, I'm not a fan of it. Taylor gets upset, basically like, you never support me, you don't like what I do, sorry that I'm not what you thought I was going to be, but this is who I am, you didn't accept it, da 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 da. And then she makes a comment like, I know that you wish that I was like her. And she, you know, mentioned Janine, and she was like, but I'm not. So then she storms off, and Janine is kind of like still awkwardly sitting there with Barbara. Then she walks off to let Barbara and Taylor handle their own thing. So we get back from commercial. Barbara's in her classroom, still vividly upset about the situation that went down with her daughter. So Janine walks in, wanting to offer advice, wanting to help, but basically Barbara told her to mind her business and go and prepare to meet this child's mom. All the while, she's been reaching out to her, she's been calling her, she's been just getting sent to the voicemail, she's not responding through other emails, and she's just basically thinking like, you know, she said that she wanted to meet with me. I've decorated. I've been preparing for this. I've been waiting for this. Like, where is this person's mom? So she's basically feeling like this parent is not as involved as I thought she was going to be, just like the others. And also, with all these things going on with Taylor and Barbara, it starts to make her reflect on her relationship with her mother, which we know is not super close as she wishes it would be. So that's why she's kind of, I wouldn't say clingy, but she's very trying to get kind of that motherly love and affection, and have that type of relationship with Barbara, and it's affecting her. You know, she's texting her mom, trying to reach out to her. Her mother doesn't respond, and you just kind of see how you know, she, in the beginning when she first met Barbara's daughter, how she felt like, ooh, I wish I had that type of relationship. You guys are super close. I wish I had a mom that did this, did that. But remember when I said like Taylor was kind of looking like, why are you saying all these things? Like, you don't really know, you know, her like I do. So it just made me think like how other women or even men, how the different dynamics with their parents are. Some of them is toxic and dysfunctional. Others are super, super close. I'm just grateful. Like, I have a super, super close relationship. Me and my sister have a super close relationship with my mom. Like, that is best friend for life. So I just couldn't imagine not having, not having that. But some people do. So, meanwhile, the other teachers, Jacob and Melissa and Mr. Johnson, aka the janitor, they're just relaxing. Like I said, they know the deal. They know that the parents aren't going to show up. They know that, this is just a night to just chill and relax with the coworkers. So they decide to play a game of poker. And all the while, Jacob is saying, like, he never knew how to play. So they trying to, like, take advantage of him, kind of, like, play him a little bit while, and teach him at the same time. They're betting and all this other stuff. And, he's, going along to get along. And we also see that ever since Greg has found out the reason why Ava got this principal position, he's just disheveled. He's not himself. He's walked through the hallway with his tie untied, shirt untucked, doesn't look like himself, isn't happy, go lucky. He's just like, whatever, I'm just over it. What's the use of trying? Like, I did this, I did that, and I still get the scraps, basically, while people can just manipulate or, just do whatever to get to the top. And as he's sitting and sulking basically in the teacher's lounge, in walks Taylor, and she's kind of still like in a mood because of what happened between her and her mom, and they exchange names, little chit chat, and then in walks Barbara. She says, can we talk? And then, like I said, as Janine is waiting, she's like, let me go check on them. Let me see if I can, again, offer my advice, because, Janine loves to help and want to fix things. So she wants to go and talk to them, but to her surprise, as she's walking to Barbara's classroom, they're hugging, they're loving on each other, they're exchanging, the sorries and the apologies, and she's like, oh, so sweet. Then we see that Ava is giving a tour to the superintendent, and they meet Greg in the hallway, and he's kind of like being this like jerk, kind of like, hey, superintendent, yeah, remember me? I applied for this job. And he's like, yeah, you were a very good, prospect, basically. He was like, yeah, but it didn't get the job. Like, he just wanted, just being a jerk and being sarcastic and just being in his feelings, basically. And then just walks away. So after that, we see that Janine again is, trying to attempt to text her mom, because I think, like I said, all of this emotion and all this stuff brought that, out of her. Still, her mom gives her nothing. And so she's like, whatever. And I'm pretty sure she's starting to feel like she's ready to sulk too. So she goes out the classroom, and it's past 8 o'clock. So open house is over with. And she bumps into Nina's mom. And then she just decides to go in on this girl's mom. Like, you basically, like, you're just like all the other parents. Like, you don't care about your daughter's education. You just want to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You told me that you wanted to come and talk with me, but you didn't. It's over. Basically, like, lady, move out of my way, get out of my face. I'm not here for it. I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. I'm tired of the excuses. I'm tired of people saying that they care when they don't. Like, she just let her have it. All the while, the mom is like, can I get my 2 cents in? Can I talk? And then, just as quickly as Janine says all that, she has to put her foot in her mouth. Why? Because the lady opens up her jacket, and we see that she's a nurse. And she's like, first of all, if you will let me talk, I was on my way, but I got held back because I work in the ER. There was a gunshot victim, and I decided to stay back and do my job. And Janine was like, oh, okay, well, let's go talk. So I was just like, see, projecting all of her little feelings on everybody else. She don't even be knowing what's going on. But like I said, the girl, she was feeling a type of way. So we get to the end, and apparently Jacob was lying the entire time because he knew how to play poker and he played it very well. So he ended up winning the bet. He won all the coins, the chips, whatever it's called, the money. And even though they were shocked, Mel was kind of, liking the fact that he had this little sneaky little little funny petty side to him. So that was over with. And then of course Janine finally gets and sit down and talk with Nina's mom, and they decide to work together to support her in the areas in which she's struggling, which is most definitely needed to have the teacher and the parent on a united front to work together at home and work together on things at school to benefit the child in a positive way. So big ups to throwing that in there because it is needed in this day and age and forever and always when it comes to school, because it's not just at school and it's not just at home. We got to work together. Then she's happy about that because she's like, I did it. I finally met with her, made me feel better. And she's like, come on, Greg, let's go out to eat. And to her surprise, little Miss Taylor walks in and grabs Greg and like, come on, you ready to go? And she's looking like, go where? Like, she was so taken aback about that, y'all. But I knew it was going to happen. It was something about that chemistry when they first met. I knew that it was going to happen. So basically her little boo or her little secret crush or whatever just played her to the left to go with Barbara's daughter. So maybe that's going to cause some type of little tiff there, some type of little commotion. Who knows? I'm excited to see how that's going to work out. So then we see that as everybody's starting to leave, Ava is ending the tour of the school with the superintendent, and he basically tells her, you know what, you've been holding this scandal over my head this entire time. Little do you know, I divorced her and I remarried and I'm happy, and you're not gonna keep pulling this over my head. You're not gonna keep on taking advantage of the situation. And I moved on from that. So if you want to keep your job, this tour that you gave me needs to be 1,000 times better before the school board comes to tour, or you're going to be fired. And so she was like, so it don't pay to be messy, y'all. It don't, because it turns out to bite you in the butt. So I'm excited to see how that storyline is going to go. But I doubt that Ava's going to go anywhere because homegirl is loved by many. So then we see that everybody's leaving. Like I said, Janine's feeling kind of down. She wanted to hang out. She wanted to celebrate her victory, but everybody else got other stuff to do. And she's just like, still back in her feelings. But then in comes Barbara, her work mom, to save the day because she decides to say, well, my daughter's busy. My plans are open. Let's go hang out. And it made her feel better. At first, she wanted to be like, no, it's okay. But then she was just like, I'm not going to let what I got going on with my mom affect me and my relationship with other people that are trying to be in my life. So I'm just going to let that go. And she even said, let that go, Janine. Because, sometimes we got to talk to ourselves to get out of, get out the funk. And we see her and Barbara happily walk off. And that just made me feel good because sometimes when you don't have that biological, parent relationship or sibling relationship, sometimes people at work do take that place, and it's not just at work. Sometimes it is outside of work as well. And it just goes to show relationships are important. Family is important. Understanding people and meeting people where they are and just taking the time out to invite somebody somewhere or think about somebody can truly make a difference, because you never know what a person is going through. So it pays to be kind. It pays to be open-minded and talk to people, and not just be this closed off person. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Janine's character is very loving, very caring, and it kind of reminds me of me as well. Just, wanting to give and feeling like sometimes you have these relationships with people who don't give it back, but you also are, you know, cool with everybody, you get along with everybody, and you still have those people who see you and you trust them, and vice versa, and and you end up having a bond like a sister, like a mother, like, you know, like things like that. Like, that's very, very important. And it makes all the difference, I'm sure, in people's lives. So I'm happy to see that Barbara let her wall down, and is inviting Janine into that space, because she really needs it. And that just made my little heart warm. And then they walk off into the Philly streets, and we see at the very end of the show that Ava is in her office and going over what was said to her by the superintendent, and decides to play what is it? I'm Going Down, the version by Mary J. Blige. And, you know, she's overly dramatic anyway. So she was sitting there singing that song because she probably thinking, like, I got to get myself together or I am going to be done. So, like I said, I'm anxious to see what's going to happen in the coming episodes, y'all. And that was basically it. I didn't want to give it all away, but I suggest you guys go watch it. Like I say all the time, it comes on Tuesdays at 9 on ABC, and then it's also streamed on Hulu, so y'all can catch up. It's been 10 episodes. Y'all missing out. It is a dope show. It's ABC's #1 show. It has been renewed for a season 2, so I'm excited about that. And I'll see y'all on the next recap. Thank y'all for watching. Have a good night. Peace.